India's AI governance has evolved rapidly, moving from a wait and watch approach to a structured techno-legal framework as of 2026. This framework balances the need for rapid innovation with robust protections against risks like deepfakes and algorithmic bias. India's strategy is built on the philosophy of AI for all, focusing on inclusive growth and using AI to solve large scale social problems. The core pillars of governance frameworks are the seven sutras announced at the India AI Impact Summit 2026. The governance framework is anchored in seven principles or sutras that guide the design and deployment of AI across all sectors. The first sutra is trust as the foundation, ensuring users and institutions can rely on AI outputs and the organizations behind them. The second is people first, maintaining human oversight, especially in high impact systems like healthcare, legal, etc. The third is innovation over restraint, avoiding regulation for the sake of regulation to ensure startups can thrive. The fourth is fairness and equity, mandating audits to prevent bias against marginalized groups or castes. The fifth is accountability, assigning clear responsibility across the AI value chains of developer versus the deployer. The sixth is understandable by design, fighting black box AI by requiring transparency and explainability in high risk models. And the seventh is safety and sustainability, prioritizing cybersecurity, resilience, and energy efficient green AI models. Let us look into the regulatory and legal architecture. India doesn't have a single AI Act yet, but instead uses a web of existing and new regulations. Very soon, we will have the Digital India Act 2026 draft. This is the upcoming primary law that will replace the IT Act 2000. It introduces risk-based classifications into low, medium, high, and prohibited for AI applications. Then we have the IT Amendment Rules 2026, which specifically targets synthetically generated information or the SGI. It mandates that AI generated content like deepfakes and audio must have visible labels or metadata covering at least 10% of the content's area or duration. We also have the Digital Personal Data Protection or the DPDP Act 2023, which regulates how AI models can use personal data for training requiring explicit consent and data minimization. Regulators like RBI in finance, TRAI in telecom, and NMC in healthcare issue specific AI guidelines for their domains. Let us now look into the institutional framework. To enforce these guidelines, India has established several key bodies. The first is India AI Safety Institute. It focuses on red teaming, benchmarking, and safety testing of large-scale models. Then we have the AI Governance Group or AIGG, a central coordinating body under the Ministry of Electronics and IT, MeitY, that steers policy and monitors risks. Then we have the National Supercomputing Mission or Airavat. It provides the compute power which is about 38,000 plus GPUs currently needed for indigenous AI development, ensuring sovereign AI capabilities. Now let us look into the risk-based approach to AI governance. India classifies AI use cases to determine the level of scrutiny required. These classifications are in three categories. They are, number one, prohibited risks. The social scoring by the state or AI that manipulates human behavior in harmful ways. Then we have the high risk, AI used in critical infrastructure, law enforcement, or medical diagnostics. These require mandatory audits and human in the loop oversight. Then we have the limited or the low risks, like the chatbots or spam filters, which only require basic transparency, like you are talking to a bot. In the global context, India is a lead chair of the Global Partnership on AI or GPAI. Unlike the EU's more restrictive approach, India's framework is designed to be more flexible, positioning the country as a sandbox for AI that works for the global south, focusing on multilingualism via projects like Bhashini and affordable, scalable tech. As of 2026, India has pivoted from broad guidelines to a strictly enforceable regulatory regime, particularly concerning synthetic media and deepfakes. The framework is designed to protect citizens while aggressively funding indigenous AI infrastructure. The 2026 Deepfake Hammer, the IT Intermediary Guidelines Amendment Rules 2026, which took effect on February 20, 2026, are currently the most stringent in the world regarding response times. The mandatory takedown windows. First is the 2-hour rule. For non-consensual intimate imagery or NCII or deep fake porn, platforms must remove the content within 120 minutes of a complaint. The 3-hour rule. For other unlawful synthetically generated information or SGI, such as fake news or impersonation of officials, the platforms must act within 3 hours of a government or court order. Now let us look into the penalties for non-compliance. The first is loss of safe harbor. If a platform like Meta, X, Google, etc. fails to meet these deadlines, it loses its legal immunity under Section 79 of the IT Act. This means the platform can be sued as the author of the content. Criminal liability. The local executives like the resident compliance officers can face personal criminal prosecution under the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita BNS 2023 for systemic failure. Then we have the financial fines. Under the DPDP Act, penalties for data related AI violations can reach up to Rs 250 crores or $30 million per contravention. What are the technical mandates? Traceability and labeling. India now regulates the mechanism of creation, not just the content. First is permanent metadata. All AI generated content must have immutable digital fingerprints of C2PA standards that trace the file back to the specific AI tool and user ID. The second is watermarking. Visual SGI must have a prominent watermark. Audio SGI must include a spoken disclaimer at the start. Third is user declarations. Every time you upload content, you must declare if it is AI made. Platforms are legally required to use their own detection tools to verify these self-declarations. Now we come to India AI Mission support for startups. While the rules are strict for big platforms, the government is pouring massive resources into the domestic ecosystem to ensure sovereign AI, compute and infrastructure. First is GPU access. The government has onboarded over 38,000 GPUs with more than 20,000 planned through the India AI Mission. Startups can access these compute powers at up to 40% reduced costs. Then we have the India AI Innovation Challenge 2026. Startups can win contracts of up to Rs 1 crore to build AI solutions for public health in Ayush and MSME governance. Then we have the funding and grants. Indigenous LLMs. 12 teams have been funded to develop foundational models in Indian languages like BharatGen and Sarvam AI. Now let us look into the institutional guardians. The governance is managed by a new whole of government architecture. It includes number one, AI governance group or AIGG, which sets the overarching policy. Then we have the India AI Safety Institute, AISI, which conducts the red teaming or stress testing of models before they are released to the public. Then we have the Bhashini, the National Language Translation Mission that provides the data sets needed for India-specific AI. India's move towards a structured AI governance framework was not purely academic. It was a firefighting response to a series of high-profile incidents between 2023 and 2025 that demonstrated how AI could be weaponized to destabilize society, personal dignity, and the economy. Here are the pivotal cases that prompted the government to act. The first is the Rashmika Mandana deepfake of November 2023. This was the watershed moment for Indian AI policy. A viral video showed actress Rashmika Mandana entering an elevator, but her face had been digitally swapped onto the body of a British Indian influencer using deepfake technology. The impact was that the incident triggered national outrage involving senior ministers and the Prime Minister. This gave rise to a policy shift. It led to the first major advisory on November 2023, reminding social media platforms that they must remove such content within 24 hours or lose their safe harbor legal immunity. The second is the 2024 general election cheap fakes and disinformation. During the world's largest democratic exercise, several AI related incidents occurred. For example, the Amir Khan and the Ranveer Singh. Deepfake videos of these superstars appeared to show them endorsing specific political parties and criticizing the government. Both actors filed police complaints. Second is the case of the deceased leaders. In Tamil Nadu, the AI cloned voice of the late leader Jayalalitha was used for political campaigning, raising ethical questions about the post-mortem consent and voter manipulation. These caused a policy shift. These cases prompted the Election Commission of India (ECI) to issue strict guidelines against the use of manipulated media and influenced the 2026 IT rules requiring mandatory AI labeling. The third incidence is the voice cloning financial fraud surge of 2024-2025. A wave of AI kidnapping scams hit Indian cities. Scammers used AI to clone the voice of a relative, often a child or a grandchild, and called victims claiming to be in legal trouble or kidnapped, demanding immediate UPI transfers. What was the scale of the issue? Reports indicate that nearly 47% of the Indian adults had either been victims of or knew someone targeted by AI voice cloning scams by early 2025. This led to a policy shift. This led to the RBI's Free AI framework of 2025, which mandated that final financial decision making must vest with humans and not autonomous AI models to prevent large scale automated fraud. The fourth incidence is the Google Gemini bias controversy of March 2024. An Indian user asked Google's Gemini AI whether a high-ranking Indian political leader was a fascist. The model's response was perceived as biased and definitive compared to its more neutral responses about other global leaders. The impact was that the government issued an immediate advisory stating that AI models being tested or unreliable must seek explicit government permissions before being deployed to the Indian users. The policy shift was that it introduced the concept of trustworthy AI as a legal requirement, moving away from the previous hands-off approach to Silicon Valley's experimental models. The fifth case is of corporate deepfake heist of 2025. In a notable corporate case mimicking a global trend, an Indian subsidiary of a multinational firm lost several crores after an employee was deceived by a deepfake video call where an AI-generated version of the company's CFO ordered a secret fund transfer. The policy shift was that this case accelerated the creation of the India AI Safety Institute, which now provides red teaming services to help Indian corporations harden their systems against AI-driven social engineering. I will be actively pursuing this case in future also. If you liked my video, then please press the like button and hit the bell icon. That way you will get the notification of all my new videos. And do not forget to subscribe to my channel. Hi, I am Vishwajit and you are watching Landmark Cases.